Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the current state of New World because I've been getting a ton of people in my chat coming into my stream asking me, how do I feel about the auction house? How do I feel about these weapon issues, outpost rush, bugs, laggy wars, basically everything, right? And you guys are probably expecting my tracking and skinning guide today, but that video is going to get pushed to probably in like 2 or 3 days because I kind of want to talk about the current state of the game now with what happened with what they did with the auction house and stuff like that. So I want to cover this while it's still current and happening, right? I'm recording this November 2nd. As of today, the auction house has been down for 2 days, and I'm going to release this on the 3rd. We're assuming that we might get some information tomorrow, or maybe even a patch tomorrow updating the game. But as of right now, stuff is still going on, and they're working on it and all that sort of stuff. All right, but before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video, got to do my plug. Hey guys, if you guys could leave a like rating on the video, maybe leave me a comment about what other content you want to see here, and maybe consider subscribing if you really enjoy the videos. All right, so now that we got the plug out of the way, let's hop into the actual content of this video. So the first thing we're going to cover is the big and most important thing that everyone's been like up in arms about, and that is the gold/item duplication bugs that people have been doing and what was their action in relation to stopping it. And that was disabling the auction house / disabling all trades and anything related to gold, right, or in items. All right, so how do I feel about people duplicating gold in items, doing all that sort of stuff, and their action towards it? Personally, do I think they went a little too hard? Yes. Do I understand why they did what they did? Yes. They've been getting a ton of backlash since even before the beta and everything, because people are like, oh, this gold/item dupe's been going on forever. They haven't fixed it, and now that has gotten so bad that people are posting screenshots of 500,000 items or 500,000 gold, thousands of items in their inventory that have been duplicated. They're going to disable the auction house and kill their player base. Do I think what they did was too aggressive? Yes, because I actually don't think, we were doing math, like me and my friends were doing some math yesterday. We don't think that the gold dupe/item was actually affecting at least our server so negatively, right? It wasn't even really doing anything because the economy in the game was already so messed up due to the fact that there's more gold exiting than entering the game, right? Like, it's like not profitable to even go fight like enemies. Like, if you go on a mining route, like in the dip and shattered, if you get hit and your armor gets damaged, the amount of money you're making for what you're doing, unless you have like massive mining luck and you're able to get Cinnabar, Tolvium, and like Void Ore and then convert that into sales, like you weren't really making money because it was at level 60 where you have like high tier armor, and so it's expensive to repair, right? And other things like that is just taking gold out of the game. Anytime you buy something at the syndicate vendor, that money's just removed from the game, you know? So you want a bigger bag, you got to go buy the greater root of holding. That's like 2,000 gold, just gone. The purchases of homes, which at this point I have 3 houses, I've spent 20k or like almost 20k in homes, that's just gone out of the game, you know what I mean? And like there were just so many things that was taking gold out of the game and not injecting gold into the game, like all the quests that you do when you're leveling to 60. Post 60, it was really hard to make money. You were just kind of taking money from others, and as the games went further along in its life cycle, less people were leveling to 60, more people were already reaching that point, and the gold was starting to deplete in the game. They introduced Outpost rush as a way to make money, and a lot of people started making, you know, decent money. You make like 300 to 400 gold, so that's like what, 10,000 gold. So basically you'd walk out of every Outpost rush with like an average of 10,000 gold brought into the game, you know, not including using pots and food, which there's food and stuff that you can buy in the actual Outpost rush itself by gathering essence and spending it in the shop in game. So you actually don't even need to bring your own resources, which is great. It was bringing money into the game, but not enough to kind of circumvent the loss of gold that was still happening in the game. So do I think they needed to do what they did? No, I don't think they needed to do it. But again, I'm only on the experiences of my server and the way my server operates, which is Laloy. I don't know how this was affecting bigger or smaller pop servers. So am I upset that they did it? Yeah, because I can't really do my daily cooldowns as easy. I gotta go mine everything and find everything myself. But I understand why they did it. And do I think that this is gonna kill the game? I think it is going to take a hit. You know, I personally think that the game is going to lose a significant player base, or they're going to proactively not play the game until the auction house returns, because there's a lot of people who just play the auction house, do their daily cooldowns through the auction house, buying the ore and everything, or through like trades and buying it directly from players with item trades and gold trades. So I think this is going to reduce the player base for a bit, and there's already been people posting screenshots, which I'm going to get to later when I talk about the PvP only purists and stuff like that, because they've been kind of using these bugs and these big changes that they needed to do in the game that dip the player base as an excuse. So to put a little bow on the first topic of the video, do I understand why I did it? Yes. Do I think they needed to do it? No. And I do believe that within the day or maybe two, I think they're going to have it back and everything reinstated, because I'm pretty sure they've been keeping like a pretty good line of communication open to the player base through Reddit and forums, and they think that they've discovered the root of the problem, and they're working on the fix. All right, topic number 2, and that is weapon issues. So as you know, the game has a lot of perks and passives that weapons have, and they've been really buggy recently, right? Like infinite bloodlust, or the Hatchet perk that lets you do 4,000 damage with your hatchet if you stack it, because it overstacks and doesn't leave. The Amber Gem Paladin Lifestaff Axe combo, where you're basically an unkillable tank that can heal himself and turn all your focus into damage with your Great Axe if you have an Amber Gem, because the Amber Gem stats are overstated and it's not reflecting what it's supposed to do. Stuff like that, right? Even with the little crouching thing that they fixed on Sacred Ground, where you could spam crouch and it would like proc the heal over and over again. Stuff like that, even though they fixed that already, and like there's still more bugs in relation to weapons, and I feel like when they fix one thing, another thing breaks. But let's talk about the bugs, right? How do I feel about those bugs? I don't think they're really that big of an issue. So I almost want to say the player base that have been talking about this thing are almost as vocal, if not, they might be a little bit more vocal than the auction house thing, especially in global chat. They've just, if you're using the hatchet, you're an exploiting cheater, blah, 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 blah. Bro. Ooh. Bro. This isn't an exploit. Gold duping is an exploit. You are doing something that the game doesn't have, or you should not be doing. And you are exploiting like something in the game's core problem, right? Whereas in like this bug, people were using the hatchet before. People will continue to use the hatchet before and after this for its skill set. One of the perks is not balanced properly, right? But that doesn't mean they're exploiting the game. Like, this is the problem. I feel like a lot of people who are playing this game in particular did not come, my friend mentioned this and I agree with him, did not come from a competitive gaming background, right? I played shooters competitively, MOBAs, everything else, and you do what you need to do to win. Champions busted in League of Legends, you queue that shit up and get the dub, right? Or you ban it so no one else picks it. And in this game, I feel like a lot of people like try to live on this high horse that, oh, if you use this weapon, you're exploiting and you're cheating and you would not be able to win without it, blah, blah, blah. And like people who just try to continue doing what they're doing in hopes that it works against that. Like, I'm a Great Axe Hammer user, right? In PvP. I'm not going to run out a hatchet user with this bug and try to slang and bang with him. He's going to shit on me. He's going to hit me for 4,000 and I'm going to die in 3 hits. So I have to be more like tactical. I have to use my brain. I have to be intelligent in the way I approach this combat. The people are just continuing to do what they do, run into these dudes and get shit on. No. Do it tactically. Pull out your hammer, stun them, hit them while they're down. Alternate with a mage to do damage like from a distance. You stun them and CC them while someone else kills. Like you have to use your brain, be more have more tactful gameplay, tactical gameplay, right? So as far as these weapon issues, I think people just need to get off their high horse. This isn't an exploit. This happens in every single PvP game. If something is broken and overpowered or overtuned, people are going to use it. So you should use it. I didn't use it, but if people around me are using it, I'm going to not say anything because I understand something's powerful, it should be used. I played WoW Arena. Something was powerful, it was used, and you gotta play around it. Pretty much it. And I don't even think the Hatchet bug is the most broken thing. It's just more visually, like, you see yourself getting hit by 4,000 damage per auto, so people are like, oh, this is gross, unfair, and they just don't want to fix it. But when they're running around infinitely with Bloodlust, no complaints. Or when Amber Gem Paladins are running around not dying, not hitting you for 3,000, but running around and not dying, they're like, oh, that's fine. It's just because they see a 4,000 damage, like a 4,000 damage hit, and they're like, ugh, gross. You know? But I think people need to stop being crybabies about this and just, like, they're going to fix it when it gets to get fixed. Like, when it's, like, on the priority list. I think fixing the gold item duplication and bringing back the auction house is up here in order of priority. This is a little bit lower. Just use the hatchet or stop crying about it. Now let's talk about an actual exploit. Now that we covered the second topic, the third topic is also related to Outpost Rush in relation to people crying about weapons. This is an actual exploit. Jumping over the spawning area, you have to consciously choose to climb up and do this whole thing to jump over to get to the point sooner and start capping the points before other people are there. That is an actual exploit. You know what I mean? That is actually exploiting past the spawn area, past the spawn wall that's up to prevent you from leaving. You know? Do I still think people should be banned for this? No, I don't think people should be banned for this. By the way, I just think that you're more of a scumbag if you do that than if you use the hatchet. Just so you know. And I think that should be fixed. I just wanted to cover that because I think it's in relation to that whole thing and like how people are like not complaining about people doing the jump over but complaining about people using the hatchet. I think that's stupid. This one, the jump over glitch, is way more exploitative than using the hatchet, right? And if you see me looking straight, by the way, guys, I got my notes here about all the stuff I want to talk about. Someone actually in my chat, and I want to shout this out, talk about this. Peter, he's in my chat. If he's watching this video, you know who you are. He used a really good metaphor to explain the game, and I use it every time now when anyone asks me about the game. And it's like a mansion. He said it's a mansion built on a mountain of sand, right? It's beautiful, so nice. The game is so pretty and has all these great things, but one little small thing, like if you flush the toilet 2 seconds too long, the whole left side of the house collapses, right? And it's just like the game feels like it's built on spaghetti code and they're really trying to juggle a lot. All right, so now I said that because I wanted to mention that. Next topic, still extremely laggy wars. I don't think there's anything they can really do on a coding aspect of that. I just think they need to like put the game on better servers. Like the game just needs to be on the highest tier servers they could possibly put them on. And a lot of people are like, oh, how is it not already on the best servers? The game's owned by Amazon. Yes, the game is owned by Amazon, but this is always the thing I say. Twitch is also owned by Amazon, but Twitch makes a ton of mistakes because they are still their own company that was just bought by Amazon. Specifically Twitch, they were just bought for their technology. Amazon is reselling Twitch's technology as a service. So Twitch is still their own thing. They don't have the billions that Amazon has. You know what I mean? And neither does this game, like this gaming company. Amazon Game Studios was originally just another company that was purchased. And they hired staff and stuff like that and to do all this stuff, but they're not Amazon. They still have to go and acquire all these things, and they have budgets for these things. They don't have the billions that Amazon has. So to prevent the laggy wars, I think when you have 50v50, because Outpost Rush isn't really that laggy, right? When you have 50v50 coordinated in a Discord, grab welling, all on the point, doing tactical pushes against another 50 man of tactical players, it's going to be laggy unless you have the top tier servers, and even then it might still be laggy. It'll just be better, right? So in relation to that, I think it's lower on the priority list. Do I think they need to fix it? Yes. Will it make the game better? Yes. Will it make wars more balanced and potentially actually shift like territories? Yes. But it's lower on the priority list because I think it'll require a lot more like changing, and I think it's on the way. because there's something I'm going to bring up towards the end of the video in relation to that. And I think that that will be included in this whole section in relation to like improving the game, the current state and the game state. All right, so the next thing, and the next topic I want to talk about, and this is PvP only purist. How about, by the way, this video is going to be like 20-25 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to be, but it's my opinions on the current state. Sorry if the video's long, guys. It's just, it's a discussion. It's a discussion video. It's not like a specific thing. It's just me talking about the current state of the game. PvP only purist. I am someone who played the game in the alpha over a year ago. I've known about this game, been interested about this game for 2 years already at this point, right? And I played back in like April of last year when they initially said the game was supposed to come out August of last year, right? I played in that early alpha when the game was only PvP. There was no quest for Azov staff. You just bought it with gold, and then you could do the low-level corruptions and stuff like that. Like, the game was in a completely different state. It was a completely different game back then. It was PvP only, and I'm telling you right now, as someone who played it then, who's playing it now, the game was unplayable then. You'd walk around and just get dove on by 50-man pushes from a different group. And if your server is run by one specific guild, like 3 of the factions, your experience as the other 2 factions becomes nearly impossible to have a good time, because you go outside and you get mushed. If you don't have at least a 5 to 10 man constantly walking around with you, you're just going to die to people running around as 5. It just becomes an unplayable game. Like, I know, I played the PvP only version of the game. You guys are probably like, just play with your friends. But yeah, a game should not require you to walk around with 10 people to be able to play the game. You know? Like, I'm a streamer and a content creator. I can sit on this game all day, right? But I don't have 10 people that can sit on this game all day. I'm do this full time. I stream and make content full time. But I have friends that play the game that work throughout the day, that have kids and wives and that want to spend time with them and all that. Like, you can't make a game where the people who just gang up together will have and control the experience. And that's why I think toggling on and off PvP is a good thing. Do I think the way they handle toggling PvP on and PvE is good? No, because currently I feel like PvP is useful for just taking territory wars. I think there needs to be like an actual real incentive to, if you want to play full PvP, you're getting something out of it. And currently you're not, like, it's not worth it, right? So I think they need to tweak it, but I think they're in the right direction of making the game better with that. And to all the people who are these PvP purists who are like, oh, people are like, they'll drive the player base out of the game if it's PvP only. Well, we've lost 80% of the players. You know, there's only 200,000 people actively playing right now compared to the 900,000. First of all, you're stupid, because that's not how games work. The game only had 900,000 people peaking when it came out. Anytime a game comes out, it's going to be at its peak, right? And it's gonna have its average is not even gonna be at the peak for the first week. Its average might be half of that, which was what I think it was. It was like 400, 500,000, something 600,000 average. And then as the game, you know, the game's been out for a month, it's gonna drop, right? Because people will have to go back to work and go back to living their lives and only be able to play the game throughout the day at certain times. And when they decided to take the picture, the screenshot of showing the Steam active players only 200,000 compared to the peak of 900,000, we're in a lull in the game. It's like super low player base because the auction house is disabled. People don't have time to grind, and people aren't going to log in as much if they can't do their trading to be able to do their daily stuff. You know, me personally, I log in still even without the auction house because I'll go grind for the mats throughout the entire day, right? But some players were logging in, doing their dailies, leveling up skills, selling some stuff, and then logging off. Maybe participating in a war, doing a little bit of PvE questing sort of stuff, maybe some outpost rush, and then booking it, right? But now because they can't even use the auction house, they can't do a quarter or like a half of the gameplay that they were planning on doing, so they just might not play for a couple days. So to take a screenshot and say the game has lost 80% of its player base, can we get PvP only? No, you're fucking stupid. Like, that's not how it works. The game would not be better PvP only. Period. Okay? So now that we got that out of the way, the final topic, invasion bugs, upcoming war sort of thing. People talking about how, like, there's a bug where basically you can proc an invasion, and if the invasion proc, you can basically force out a conflict war and basically screw up all the effort that people might do in PvP. Is that annoying? Yes. Is that an exploit? Yes. Do I think people should be banned for it? No. The game is in a bad state, guys. Now, basically covered all the topics, so I want to wrap everything up. The game is in a bad state, and I do believe there needs to be some massive changes to the game. There needs to be a lot of improvement, but I think the pros of this game and the experience outweigh the cons. This is the most fun I've had in an MMO in like 7 years. It's such an amazing game and experience. Is it grindy? Yes, but you feel, I don't know, I feel great doing the grind and pushing forward and getting all my trade skills to 200 and like doing all those sort of things. And I believe in this company, right? I'm gonna bring up something that I said I was gonna talk about earlier. My friend saw that they posted, a friend of mine that is a software engineer, saw that they posted 160 jobs looking for engineers. He believes, and I want to tend to agree with him, is that they're gonna segment their team, and this is not confirmed, but it makes sense as someone who worked as a software engineer, and I've worked at a tech company for years as a graphic designer, working closely with the development team. When you're hiring that many people, you're not just hiring them for bug fixes. You know what I mean? And he believes, and I really agree with him, that they're going to take the game and have a huge team fixing current issues, but then have another team fixing the sand hill that the mansion is built on, to simplify it. They're gonna go and fix core issues with the game, because he feels, and I feel, like a lot of things are issues that are at the core that need to be changed from the ground up, and a team will be dedicated to doing that. And a lot of people complain to the developers, how is the game so buggy? They took a year to fix it. A lot of people don't know, because a lot of people recently got into the game with the beta that they had like a few months ago. The game is not the same game that I played in April of last year, I think. That was supposed to come out in August of last year. They revamped and rehauled a lot of the game. They changed so many aspects of the game. It's not even like the same type of game, you know, it's still the same game, obviously, but like so many of the core mechanics and a lot of the things were changed, introduce new things, remove other things, that they weren't able to just fix the game that they had in April of last year and in the year and release it. They were changing a ton of things throughout the year, and they basically released like almost if you want to say a whole new game, right? Now they're working with, since the beta, issues that this new game basically has. And I think hiring these developers to hopefully do what we're saying, split into two teams, one fix bugs, one work on fixing the sand hill that this mansion is built on, and fix stuff from the ground up, is really good. And I think that the game is in a bad state currently, and I'm not afraid to say that, but it's still a great game, if not the best MMO available right now. Also, I want to say to the people who played like 300 hours in the first week, me, someone who's literally put 500 hours in the game already or something, who say the game has no content. Normal humans don't put 500 hours into a game in 1 month, guys. That's not normal. Of course there's no content for you. You drank the entire well in a day. People who are like a lot of my friends that aren't like the hardcore people that I play with daily aren't even 60 yet, because they play the game like normal human beings. That's just something I wanted to say, because all the memes of like the game has no content is stupid. The game has content. The game has a lot of content. You just grinded it out in 3 days. Like, if people weren't following my guides on 0 to 200 the most efficient way, they probably would not reach it in any normal human time within the month. Like, if they're working on everything, right? Because you need to know these special spots on the map. If they're not using a resource map to get a tactical advantage, they would not be anywhere near as far as like I am, because I use all these resources that are given to me through websites online and do all these things, right? Like, I understand that what I'm doing is fucking it. I'm pushing the game or the efficiency, everything to the max. So of course I'm at the end of the game when people probably shouldn't even be this far, right? But I digress. Now we're at the end of the video. Like I said, quick little recap. The game is in a bad state, but I think that the developers are doing the best that they can, and they're working on it, and they're constantly keeping up to date the player base, and they're hiring a ton of people, which means that they are invested in this game. They are invested in improving it. And from what my friend and I believe, as people who works in the software industry or software engineering industry, and someone who worked for years in IT, we believe that they are gonna fix it, and it's gonna get better. And just give it time, guys. The game's been out for a month. That's it. All right, I've been recording for 30 minutes. I don't know how far I'm gonna cut this down to, but thank you guys who made it this far into the video. Stay tuned for the tracking and skinning thing. It should be out in like 2 days from today. I try to release a video every other day. Stream on the channel almost every day. So come check me out. Probably by the time you see this video, I might be live on stream right now on YouTube. All right, guys?
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right? Ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me.